Tonight, when you turn off the light in your room, you probably won't think much of it. But for almost all of human history, turning off the light wasn't a choice. Because there was no light. No light bulbs. No streetlights. No phones. No screens. No city glowing outside the window. Just darkness. And that completely changes a question we almost never ask ourselves. What did ancient humans do when night fell? Today we think of night as free time. It's when we watch videos, answer messages, go out for dinner, work late, or just go to bed. But for our ancestors, night wasn't a comfortable extension of the day. It was another world. When the sun disappeared, so did visibility, safety, and much of the control humans had over their surroundings. In the dark, a small sound could mean many things. A branch snapping. An animal moving. A predator approaching. Or simply someone walking near the camp. Night wasn't boring. Night was dangerous. That's why fire was much more than a tool for cooking. Fire was a frontier. On one side was the community. On the other side was the darkness. Archaeological evidence suggests humans controlled fire for an extremely long time. One of the most cited sites is Wonderwork Cave, in South Africa, with evidence dating back close to 1,000,000 years. But the interesting part isn't just that fire gave off heat. Fire created a small space of safety. A circle of light where people could stay together, look at one another, cook, talk, and wait out the night. Without fire, the night forces you to hide. With fire, the night becomes livable. Before artificial light, the day ended when the sun ended. But fire changed that. Suddenly, humans gained extra hours after sunset. These weren't hours for planting, hunting, or walking long distances. They were a different kind of hours. Hours to sit. Watch the fire. Listen. Remember. Imagine. And that's where one of the most interesting ideas in this video comes in. Night may have been one of the first great cultural spaces of humanity. During the day, conversations served a practical purpose. Where the food is. Who did what? What needs fixing? What problem needs solving? But around the fire, conversations changed. A study by Polly Wiesner on conversations among the Jew/Hoansi found important differences between daytime and nighttime conversations. During the day, practical and immediate social topics dominated, while at night, stories, tales, jokes, myths, and imaginative conversations took over. In other words, during the day, we talked to survive. During the night, we talked to understand each other. Think about how powerful that is. A group of people sitting in the dark, watching the same flames, listening to the same story. Someone talks about a faraway journey. Another remembers someone who is no longer here. Someone tells a joke. Another explains the origin of a custom. And while all of that happens, the group isn't just entertaining itself. It's also learning who's who. Who's brave? Who exaggerates? Who remembers? Who knows how to listen? Who can imagine something that isn't right in front of their eyes? Night wasn't just rest. Night was a school of social imagination. But there's another part that's even stranger. It's possible our ancestors didn't sleep the way we try to sleep today. Today we think the ideal is sleeping 8 hours straight. You lie down. Close your eyes. Wake up in the morning. And if you wake up at 3 in the morning, you think, something's wrong with me. But historically, that wasn't always seen as a problem. Historian Roger Kirch documented references to what's called first sleep and second sleep, a pattern in which some people slept for a few hours, woke up during the night, and then went back to sleep. That nighttime pause wasn't necessarily insomnia. It was part of the night. During that interval, people could think, pray, write, talk, interpret dreams, or simply stay awake in silence. And this isn't just a historical curiosity. In a classic experiment on short photo periods, Thomas Ware observed that when people spent many hours in darkness, sleep could become less compact and more segmented. In other words, under certain conditions, the human body seems to remember a different way of sleeping. Not necessarily better. Not necessarily worse. But different from the modern routine. Then artificial light arrived. First it was lamps, candles, and street lighting. Then, electricity. And finally, screens. Night stopped being a natural frontier. It became an extension of the day. We work at night. We shop at night. We eat at night. We watch videos at night. We check messages at night. And our brain gets a confusing signal. It's still daytime. So when we ask what ancient humans did at night, the answer isn't just one thing. They protected themselves. They kept warm. They cooked. They slept. They woke up. They talked. They told stories. They imagined worlds. But maybe the most important answer is this. Night gave them something we're losing. Real darkness. Real silence. Real pauses. Today we have more light than ever. But maybe that's exactly why we have less night than ever. For thousands of generations, darkness wasn't a void. It was a place. A place to gather. A place to sleep differently. A place to think. A place to tell stories. And maybe, the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, you don't have to see it right away as a mistake. Maybe you're just hearing a very ancient part of your body. A part that still remembers what it was like to live under a completely dark sky.